Your inner critic. That powerful voice that loves to chime in and tell you all the reasons that you won't be able to do it, you don't deserve it, you aren't worthy of it. And even if by some small stretch of the imagination you actually do it, you won't be able to keep it. Sound familiar? In today's video, I'm going to give you 4 strategies you can use to stop listening to your inner critic. Now, your inner critic will keep talking, but these strategies will help you shut out the noise. Hi, I'm Cassandra Vaughn, and this is Cassandra Vaughn TV, a life redesign channel for women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s who want to rebuild their minds, redesign their lives, and reestablish their powerful sense of self-worth. If you're a woman in your 30s, 40s, or 50s, and you are ready to rebuild your life, meaning you are ready to put on the crown, to reclaim the throne and to rule your kingdom, click subscribe and click the bell and you'll be alerted every time there's a new video, and they will all relate to you. In one of the books that I've written called You Can Do It, How to Believe in Yourself, I give one of my favorite quotes, which is a Robert Holden quote, and it says, "Your relationship with yourself sets the tone for every other relationship you have." Now I want you to think about that for a second, because most of us have been in a relationship with our inner critics for decades. We've been in deep relationship with our inner critic for decades. And the question becomes, how is the relationship you're having with your inner critic setting the tone for every other relationship you have? That's a hard answer to give, isn't it? So in today's video, I want to give you 4 strategies that you can use to stop listening to your inner critic. And it's not that your inner critic is ever going to be quiet, but you can absolutely use these strategies to develop the focus and the strength of mind to not pay attention to anything it has to say. Strategy number 1, tell your inner critic to SDASU. So strategy number 1, tell your inner critic to SDASU, or some people like to put it, SDASU. It's almost like a foreign language where you just give a command, SDASU. What does that mean? So, your inner critic is going to chatter, it's going to talk, it's going to be that little devil on your shoulder telling you all kinds of things at the most inappropriate of times. And there comes a moment that when the inner critic begins to rage, you need to say SDASU or SDASU, which stands for sit down and shut up. Literally, in your mind, in the moment when that inner critic is starting to say stuff, you simply have to say to yourself, SDASU, SDASU. Sit down and shut up. That means I'm not dealing with you, inner critic, right now. I am focused on other things. You get to be in the car with me, but you will certainly not be in the driver's seat. SDASU. Sit down and shut up. It works. Just try it. It's a command, and it stops the momentum of your inner critic, and it tells it to sit down and shut up. Now, I want you to comment below and tell me, what is the most common thing that your inner critic likes to say to you? When it rages, it typically has a pattern. So what is the thing that it is raging to you about? That way the next time it starts to do its usual thing with you, you go, SDASU, sit down and shut up. Comment below and tell me, what is the thing that your inner critic loves to say to you? Strategy number 2, fill your mind and heart with what you are choosing to believe about yourself. Strategy number 2, fill your mind and heart with what you are choosing to believe about yourself. So it becomes really important. Yes, you're going to tell your inner critic to sit down and shut up, but after you do that, there is this space in your mind that needs to be filled with something. So this strategy is really about, you've got to replace whatever your inner critic has been saying to you about you with thoughts about who you know yourself to be. Who are you choosing to be in this moment? And what are the thoughts that need to replace what the inner critic has been saying to lift you up? So for example, one of the reasons that I love Norman Vincent Peale's book, The Power of Positive Thinking, is throughout every single chapter, he gives you all of these thoughts, these ideas, these affirmations to refill your mind. He draws a lot of them from the Bible because he was a pastor or preacher, but I'll give you a couple of them. So he quotes the Bible, which I believe it's Philippians 4:13, and he says, I can do all things through Christ which strengtheneth me. I can do all things through Christ which strengtheneth me. He quotes Romans 8, I believe it's 13. If God be for us, who can be against us? If God be for us, who can be against us? Now, you may not be religious, you may not be spiritual, but there are things that you can now fill your mind with about who you are choosing to believe you are, and those things need to replace the inner critic's voice. So remember, if you shut the inner critic up, but you don't fill up the space with anything positive, you basically put the inner critic on pause. What you need to do is shut the inner critic up, SDASU, and then fill that space with what you are choosing to believe about you. I am powerful, I am strong, I am capable, I am confident, I am more than a conqueror, and keep training your mind to go to those affirmations and not to what the inner critic has been teaching you. Strategy number 3, participate in activities that help you gain mastery over your mind. Strategy number 3 is all about mind mastery. You know, we live in this busy world where everybody is used to thinking about a million things at once, multiple things on the to-do list. I think we live at a time where we're used to our mind racing, and we actually believe that our mind going a million miles a minute is the norm, because for most of us it is. But part of what you've got to do if you're going to deal with your inner critic in an effective way is you've got to have mastery over your mind. And mastery over your mind means you've got to train your mind to be still, to be quiet, to actually decide what you're going to think and how you're going to think it and how that's going to impact you. So practicing mind mastery strategies looks like meditation every day, yoga, tai chi, qigong, and deep breathing. Any of those forms where you are forced to be still, to slow your thought at least, if not stop thought for a while, to really be present with what you're thinking and how what you're thinking is leading to what you're feeling and how what you're feeling is leading to what you're doing. Any of those mind mastery practices, the yoga, the tai chi, the qigong, the meditation, the deep breathing, find 15 to 20 minutes a day where you do at least one of those things. So over time, and when I say over time, I mean years, over years of doing it consistently, persistently every single day, you will start to have way more control over what you think, way more control over what your inner critic rages about, and you will be able to, because you have mind mastery, silence the inner critic. You'll be able to, with power, go, no, over there, and it will work. Like magic. But it's not magic because you have to practice it for years to get to that point. So mind mastery is the next strategy that you can use to deal with your inner critic. Strategy number 4, make decisions from a place of faith, not doubt. Strategy number 4, make decisions from a place of faith, not doubt. Anytime you're making a decision from a place of doubt, you are actually giving your inner critic power. And if you want to stop listening to your inner critic, you have to start making decisions based on faith. Faith in yourself, faith in what's possible for you, faith in the fact that life is for you and that everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly happens for you. You've got to begin to make decisions from faith and not doubt. And here's the thing. Your inner critic loves to tell you all the reasons that it can't be done, why you're not the one to do it, why you lack the capacity to do something. But your faith, which is the belief in things not seen, i.e. faith doesn't require proof. It is your faith that is going to be your strongest anchor to say to the inner critic, I don't need proof that I can do this. I've decided that I will. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't need proof that I can be this person. I've decided that I will, and my faith says I can. You need to approach life that way because you know what? In any given decision, you are either operating in faith or in doubt, but you cannot operate in both at the same time. So I want you to comment below and tell me, what is one decision in your life that the inner critic has been raging you about, that right now you need to take a stand, and in faith, you need to say, I am standing in my belief that I can do this, and this is the decision that I'm making. Comment below and tell me what that decision is. There you have it, my 4 strategies that you can use to stop listening to your inner critic. Now, if you know that you have an inner critic that is a pro at criticism and judgment and blame, and you have been sitting on the sidelines of your life wanting to make big moves, but not making big moves because of the doubt and the fear that the inner critic is causing, I'm gonna invite you to join me for the 10-week Rebuild Yourself program. It is a program geared to women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, and it is designed to help you do what we talked about in today's video, rebuild your mind, so you can redesign your life. And one of the things that has to be rebuilt that I teach in this program is removing that inner critic from the driver's seat, sticking it in the back seat and telling it, what? SDASU. Sit down and shut up. If you need help with that, go to CassandraVaughn.com/programs and learn more about the 10-week Rebuild Yourself program. So if this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Thank you for watching and have an amazing week.